I will ask and thou shalt receive. And I think especially after everything that's happening on our Feel Good Breakfast show, we have built ourselves up an appetite. And I also need energy ahead of my session that I'm going to have with Caster Semenya a little bit later. Wish me luck. But for now, though, we're joined by another incredible woman, another superstar. We are talking about Khanya. And before we even talk about her, we're going to talk about this recipe, because few things are as comforting as a bowl of silky pasta wrapped in a rich, velvety sauce. And that's what's on the menu. And today, of course, Khanya Mzongwana is here with a Buttery tomato Orecchiette that takes the humble tomato sauce to the next level, baby. And we're going to be blending ripe, fresh tomatoes with herbs, a touch of sweetness, and plenty of butter for a luxurious finish. Khanya, you have come at the perfect time. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm hungry.
I know, me too. We've been doing so much already. We worked up an appetite, and I love this sort of Italian inspiration that you're serving this morning. I'm absolutely here for it. Have you been, by the way, Italy?
Not yet.
It's got to be on your bucket list.
It's on my bucket
so
list.
So instead, what we can just do is head over to Woolworths, because it's like pretty much the same thing, I believe. They've got Italian inspiration coming in all sorts, right?
Yes, 100%. 100%.
So what are we making with this recipe today? What was the inspiration behind showing this one off?
Okay, so I kind of like grew up eating ipisto, which is like our tomato relish,
yes,
yes. South Africa's tomato relish. And my mom used to always cook it with butter, and it was just different. There was just something so rich and comforting about it. And that's what I'm trying to showcase in this particular sauce.
I love that. Okay, let's get it going. So where do we start with? Because I went down and picked some of the freshest tomatoes that I could from my garden. Now, I'm only lying. I bought these from Woolworths, but you can't probably tell the difference because they look that good. Do you need any more?
Yes, please. Okay. I would love some more.
I'll start chopping this up while you get going with the rest of the ingredients, right?
Okay, so we've got some garlic and onions sauteing in the pan. Yeah. And what we're going to do is we're going to add those beautiful fresh tomatoes once it gets sizzling.
Okay.
So we've got these beautiful fresh tomatoes. There we go.
Nice.
And you got to wait till the onions are nice and soft and start to caramelize and get really fragrant.
Okay.
And then we're going to add our tomatoes. And this needs to cook down for a little bit, guys. Like, it needs to cook down for a good 10 minutes or so.
And this is what I really want to get into. The real secret about perfecting this, I think, is like perfecting this sort of tomato relish or whatever we would call it, a jus or a brie, because I want to get it rich. I want to get it to be bold. And sometimes working with tomatoes, there's a lot of science behind it in order to get it right. So how would you recommend that we perfect this? Are there any tips that you could share?
You know, I love to say low and slow.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
Low and slow. Like you can do a quick tomato sauce, but really getting that richness and the flavor to develop. You gotta just really give it some time, you know. But the one we're making today is quite quick and convenient, and the only real heavy lifting you've got is exactly what you're doing right now. We can pop those in here.
And I'm not even lifting heavy, man. I'm using one of these knife sets over here, and it's absolutely incredible to see how flawlessly it just works. It glides through everything. It's
that is
beautiful.
Specifically a tomato knife. Isn't that fancy?
Is that the reason for the shape and stuff? Is that,
yes.
I'm wondering, like, why is this so easy? I've never worked a tomato like this.
It's a tramontina, I believe.
Yes. Tramontina, made in Brazil. But I believe everything that we're looking at right now, you can actually find at Woolworths. So if you want to get 100%. Your preparation game on and level that up too, then, well, you know where to go as well. It's not just tomatoes, it's the full-on Italian inspiration. So these are looking quite good, right?
Oh yeah, they're looking great. They're starting to soften up really nicely, but we want them to completely disintegrate, so that's going to take some time.
It's like that mushiness, right? Is that what you're going for?
A mushiness, but then we're going to pop it into the blender as well. We got a lovely Nutri-Bullet over there. So what I'm going to do now is pop in the bouquet garni. So that's just a beautiful bunch of herbs. It's like a bunch of flowers, you know.
But you've made herbs into a bouquet. Is that to celebrate this meal? Is that what you did
there? There's always time for a celebration, but the bouquet garni imparts like a really beautiful, rich, herby flavor to this. And just before you finish cooking the sauce, you got to just fish it out.
Okay.
And it's going to give you a really round, beautiful, herby taste.
I'm noticing it looks like oregano, there's like sage there.
We've got some sage, we've got some rosemary, we've got thyme.
Ooh, thyme,
But oregano would have been a good one to add too.
Yeah, it definitely would, but I'm not complaining about this trio that you put together. That's going to be delicious. And I mean, even with this alone, this is the base for so much more. In terms of Italian, there's a lot that you could add to this. There's a lot that you could do and mix up with this. So loving it, but we're going to keep going on. All right, so what's up next?
Okay, up next, I really love this tomato paste. I love the way it looks. It's just so beautifully packaged, and it is like a concentrated version of what we're doing right now. So I'm going to add about 100 grams of that.
And this is like, you need to keep this moment for your guest. This is really authentic looking, like
it
showcasing
is.
like a bit of like Italian infusion there as well. I love it.
And it is authentic in the way that it is just tomatoes, you know?
Okay, nothing else really, just the essentials, just the good stuff.
Just the good stuff,
Beautiful.
Only the good stuff. So we're going to mix that in. For me, tomato paste is a bit of a cheat, you know? It gets your tomato sauce nice and thick and rich.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so
a little hack.
It's a cute little hack, right? So what I like to do, and this is unpopular opinion incoming, I love to add a tiny bit of sugar to my tomato sauce.
Naughty.
They say you shouldn't, and that the tomatoes have their own sweetness about it. That's not false, but you know, when I make ipisto, I always add tomatoes because that sweetness is the appeal.
And it's a common thing because obviously everyone's always confused as to whether tomatoes are fruit or vegetable because fruits have a lot of sugar and veg not so much.
Boy.
So no one knows the answer to this one. What do you think?
Tomatoes are technically a fruit, but I don't want to have that conversation with you because we're getting along so well, you know.
Let's not open up that can right now. But listen, let's carry on with this meal because I know Mzansi's waiting to find out how we do the next steps. And maybe I know we probably don't have time to put this entire thing together, but we can at least talk through a couple of the steps. Once we've finished with putting this together, you're obviously adding the sugar in for that extra little bit of sweetness. We're being naughty.
I'm not even going to add all of it, just a little bit.
Oh, that's like
and then obviously no reason not to season. So we got to remember our seasoning and just keep checking our seasoning as we go along because as it thickens and as it cooks down, you know, the seasoning kind of changes and you have to make sure that we're still on track.
Got you. So for the sake of, let's say, time, can you talk us through some of the next steps once we've perfected this sort of, what do we call it, like a tomato base?
Yeah, we could call it a tomato base, a tomato sauce, you know. I add a little bit of water because it does start to thicken, you know. Tomato has got that natural thickening agent. But what it also has naturally is MSG, which is just like a flavor bomb.
Yeah.
It is a flavor bomb.
So it's finding like chips and things and all that stuff. I didn't know that. Interesting.
Some chips, but not Woolies chips.
Yeah.
but MSG is that secret natural ingredient that occurs in tomatoes, and it just gives it this sweet and salty kind of a balance. And that's why you can just have a sandwich and put fresh tomatoes on it, and that's it.
All right. So I love this, and I love the fact that you're using an Orecchiette. I think I said it correctly. Pasta.
You said it beautifully.
Yes, I nailed it. But while you're putting the rest of this together, I want to talk to you, Mzansi, because there's a lot that you can be inspired by right now. And you can find this recipe on expressoshow.com if you want to find out how we put it together and get to that final dish, which is exceptional to say the least. And on top of this, you can shop, like we said, all your Italian-inspired ingredients at Woolworths. It's available in store, online, and of course on the app. Plus, you get 20% off selected branded homeware until Sunday, the 31st of August. So you can shop this off in store, online, and of course on the app. And you want that Italian inspiration? Well, say no more. You know exactly where to go. Khanya, that was amazing. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to see what this eventually turns out to. It looks delicious.
Doesn't it smell so good?
It does. Oh,
I forgot to mention the butter, which is just like, it's the pièce de résistance.
All right. Well, listen, the butter has gone in here. Again, if you want to find any of these steps, you can head over to expressoshow.com. The inspiration is there. And what are you waiting for? Go get to Woolworths and go get your Italian inspiration on.